So a few weeks ago, the new Bishop of Kingston came to Parish Coffee. That's right, the new Bishop of Kingston, Bishop Martin. And he came so that us clergy could all have lunch with him and welcome him. And they chose Parish Coffee to be his inaugural venue. We felt very touched. And I just want you to imagine a scenario where we were all waiting for Bishop Martin to come out of the loo because he popped to the loo. This is an imaginary scenario now. And we couldn't see him. We didn't know where he'd gone. And it turns out that what he'd actually done is he'd gone to our Parish Coffee staff, Mark and Kizzy, and he'd said, "Excuse me, can I just have some bleach and a toilet brush and some gloves? And also, could I just have one of your Parish Coffee aprons, because I actually would like to just clean the toilets in Parish Coffee because I'm just aware they need doing, and I just thought I'd do that." And so in his purple shirt with his ring on, he goes in there and spends time cleaning the loo. And I think as vicar, I'd probably run in and say, "Oh, no, stop. Don't worry, we've got staff who can do that. Relax, Bishop. Come to the table. Come and eat with us." It'd be a slightly bizarre situation, wouldn't it? It'd be a bizarre scenario. But actually what Jesus does in our passage here in John chapter 13, when he washes the disciples' feet, is even more audacious and extreme than what I've just described to you. Even more significant and radical than the bishop using a bog brush. We are now in chapter 13 of John. Chapters 1 to 12. Jesus spends a lot of time talking to the crowds, talking to the people out there, talking to the people who aren't following him. And then we get to chapter 13 of John, and this is called the farewell discourses. From now on, from chapter 13 onwards, things shift and change. Jesus turns his attention to his followers, his disciples. It becomes discipleship training school. This is where he starts to say, I'm training you now. And here we are in chapter 13, and what Jesus is fundamentally training them in before he goes is not a policy, not a procedure, but a posture. A posture. And it's a posture of love. That's what he's doing. He's actually not giving a speech. He's not giving the final rallying call before he goes off to Gethsemane. No, he actually demonstrates the lesson. It's a lived parable. It's a lived example of the posture that he wants them to adopt as followers of his. Let's look at the story in verse 1 of chapter 13. It says, "It was just before the Passover festival. Jesus knew that the hour had come for him to leave this world and to go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end." And my question for you today is this: what is your posture? What is your posture? Because Jesus, it says here in this verse, loved them till the end. And what he's saying is the posture of a follower of Jesus, of the posture of someone who follows me, is my posture, which is a posture of love. It's not insignificant that this is a Passover meal. What did Passover represent? It represented freedom from slavery in Egypt for the Israelites, where they put the blood of the lamb over their doorposts so that the Lord would pass over their house and not inflict the plagues on them. And here we have Jesus, whose hour has come, who John describes earlier on in the gospel as the lamb who has taken away the sins of the world. And what is happening now is Jesus is reliving this Passover where he is the lamb who has loved them to the end. And that love is a love that is demonstrated, actioned, and proved on the cross. It's not words, it's actions. And our posture, according to Jesus, our posture at this Last Supper that he's demonstrating is this. It's a posture of love. That's what he's modeling. But it's not just a posture of love for people we like. I mean, you all look lovely. I actually like all of you. I've realized I like you all, genuinely. Apart from you. No, I'm joking. I love you. That's an empty chair, by the way. I love everyone. But what Jesus demonstrates in verse 2, it says this: the evening meal was in progress and the devil had already prompted Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus. Now at this point, if I was Jesus about to wash feet, I would have done what I just did there. I would have gone, Josie, yeah. Julie, yeah. Tanya, I'll wash your feet. Judas, in the nicest possible way, no, because you're about to betray me. But he doesn't do that. This is a love, a posture of love that isn't just for the people we like, but for the people who might harm us, who might hurt us. This is the kind of posture that Jesus anticipates and lives out. And he's saying to his disciples, and he's saying to us today, the posture of love is one not just for people you like, but follow me in a posture of love for the people you find difficult. Verse 6 carries on. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, Lord, are you going to wash my feet? Jesus replied, you do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand. No, said Peter, you shall never wash my feet. Jesus answered, unless I wash you, you have no part with me. The posture is not just a posture of love and not just a posture of love for our enemies, but Jesus wants us to adopt a posture that can also receive, where we receive his love, where we receive him washing our feet. A couple of years ago, here at Ascension on Good Friday, we invited all the families and friends of Ascension to come to Ascension, and we had different stations that you could go to, and one was a foot washing station. And I was on the foot washing station. I'm the vicar, and it's kind of good that I do the foot washing. It's kind of showing that I'm entering into this posture. And I washed someone's feet, and then they said to me, thank you, vicar. May I now wash your feet? And for a moment, I said, no, I get to do the foot washing, okay? That's my job. Your job is to receive. But no, what Jesus is saying here is that as disciples, a massive part of our calling is to receive the foot washing, to adopt a posture where we can have our feet washed. And maybe you're like me today. Maybe actually receiving, weirdly, is trickier for you than giving. That actually allowing yourself to receive the love of God, allowing yourself to receive that directly or through his family, which is us sitting here, is something that's a little bit more difficult. We're really good at giving out, but actually, are we going to allow ourselves to receive that love? We have to receive. So I got my socks off and I allowed myself to have my feet washed. Christianity is about a posture of receiving from Jesus. We receive forgiveness, we receive love, friendship, intimacy even. And then finally, from that place of being filled up, from that place of receiving, the posture is one of kneeling before others and serving them. Verse 12 says this: when he had finished washing their feet, he put on his clothes and returned to his place. Do you understand what I have done for you? He asked them. You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Verse 14. Now that I, your teacher and Lord, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you. Jesus is saying if you want to live the Christian life, your posture needs to be one of love, love for friends, love for enemies, one of receiving love from him, but also finally one of serving others and treating them like Christ. So how do we do that? Well, the toilets need cleaning, so if you want to head to the loo straight after, feel free. I think Mark's got a loo brush. Maybe, but I do want to be practical, which is this. That evening, at the so-called Last Supper, No one was there to wash feet. And they all did that thing where it's like, we wait to see what happens. And it was Jesus who took the initiative. He was the one who stepped forward and said, I'm going to do this. And I think the call for us today is to have that posture of also taking initiative, saying, actually, I'm going to wash feet today. I'm going to be the one who does that. And it could be simple things. It could just be simple acts of love today, a simple text message to someone to encourage them. It could be helping someone unload a dishwasher. It could be helping move some chairs. It could be simply taking a moment to stop and pray for someone. It's about serving one another. So today, let's adopt a posture of love. A posture of love for those we love and for those we find difficult. A posture that allows ourselves to receive that love from Jesus. And a posture that takes the initiative and steps out and loves our neighbour as ourself. Amen. Let's just take a moment to reflect and to pray.